and Castleton going right to left, and Castleton has the wind at its back in the first half. 45-minute halves, as you know. Jack Healey with Mike Coppinger on NSN and also on Channel 20, the local public access channel in Rutland. You know, I remember from last year, of course, I had an opportunity. I was here as a spectator the other night for Castleton's loss against Oneonta State, Mike, and of course, a big part of that team from last year, Chris Mulholland, number 18, as Castleton controls. This is Billy Lund. He is from Munson, Mass, as we had talked about before. The goalkeeper, Andy LaCroix, for Castleton, and Will Berry for Colby Sawyer.
Now you can see right there, Jack, a miscue by the defense in the back there. Went right through. I didn't catch the number on it, but swiftly kicked it out right there before any opportunity was able to be gathered up by Castleton for a scoring chance.
Castleton with the throw in. It comes out near the center portion of the field. Rosewell throws it inside the 18, and coming out to stop it, Will Berry, and he'll punt it out of there for Colby Sawyer.
Yeah, I was watching Berry warm up. Extremely large guy, very tall. It's going to be very difficult to get anything over him. I'm surprised that he was able to get chipped over from so far out, being such a tall guy. Another miscue back there by the defense by Colby Sawyer.
If you are indeed talking about him being as the goalkeeper at the beginning of that game. And there's a shot that goes in wide from about 10 yards out, and that came in off the foot of Jacob Berry, so Castleton with an opportunity early.
Again, Jack, defense for Colby Sawyer just not in sync right now, and ball squirted out on the front, in the front of the goal mouth right there, practically on the PK spot, and a good chance for Castleton right there, sailed over the net, but that's two opportunities right there that Castleton's had because of miscues on the Colby Sawyer defense.
Back out toward the center of the field, and Castleton again controlling. This is Billy Lund, number 8 on the right wing. Shoots it across, knocked away in front, and a shot straight on from the top of the 18. The save made by Will Berry.
Well, this is very good for Castleton right now, keeping the pressure on in the opening minutes here. Hasn't even been 10 minutes yet, and we've had a couple of good chances here.
42-44 left here in the first half. You see the score and also the time on your screen here as part of our coverage this year. And as we mentioned, the camera location opposite from where it was last year. So the camera location pointing toward the bleachers and toward the press box here at Spartan Stadium, celebrating officially its first birthday today. Oskowski is number 8 for Colby Sawyer. Number 15 is Flaherty. Oskowski again, center circle. Sharon with it. Zach Sharon, number 2. Back to knock it away, Bueller for Castleton, number 11. Into Colby Sawyer territory. The Chargers of Colby Sawyer. Back to the center circle and trying to shovel it down the middle. Nice play there for the Spartans.
Yeah, they were looking for a nice through ball right there. With Castleton going with a flat back 4, that's how you're going to beat a defense. That should be an offsides call.
Yep, as in behind the play, it was number 20, Ryan Drown for Colby Sawyer. Now, nice defensive play for Castleton a moment ago was Ian Hunter, number 13.
Yeah, he really stepped up right there in the middle, preventing that ball from squirting through. And as I was saying, Jack, that's how you beat a flat back 4 defensive system like Castleton is running, is trying to put those through balls in. But luckily right there, able to get a foot on it before it squirted through.
Ian Hunter, a sophomore, 5'11", 170-pounder from Ellington, Connecticut. The Spartans control number 15 is Jacob Berry. Tries to move it on through possession. As Berry will kick it out of there for the Chargers. You know, I know we were talking about the advantages, the wind certainly, and also the sun, but the wind is at the back of the Spartans here in the first half. Is it possible that they would be against the wind, or possible that they would do that on purpose in the first half?
To take it in the second half.
I mean, they're taking it in the first half. Is it possible Well, Colby Sawyer had the possession, however, so it must have been Castleton's choice, right?
Most likely you would think that. I didn't actually watch as they were doing the coin flip down there, but there's a lot of different rationales. A lot of coaches like to have their defense in front of them firsthand, the first part of the game, in relation to where the bench is. A lot of coaches like to have the defense in front of them at the end of the game. So there's a lot of things that could go into play, a lot of different rationales.
Because it's one sport for sure where wind especially is the great equalizer. Where
more so than any other sport.
More
certainly.
so than any other sport, I think, too. And I'm drawing the analogy, let's say, to high school soccer, at least here in the state of Vermont, where it's not really that uncommon to watch a number 16 seed defeat a number 1 seed.
On a fluke play.
Yeah, on a fluke play in a game. Not to say that, I mean, this is a strong wind today. Not to say that any of that will happen today, but because of a strong wind, and then the team that's maybe the number 1 seed that happens to be going against the wind and has already given up a goal, it's almost an impossible task to come back.
And the other thing that I'll say is there's really no uniformity in Vermont soccer, high school soccer, in relation to fields. You have a lot of different field sizes out there. Brattleboro has a very, very large field, so depending on the fitness of your team, the field size can come into play. Castleton, of course, is playing, it looks like it's about 119 yards, maybe almost 120 yards long, by I'd say probably about 70 wide.
What's the minimum?
The minimum is 100 in high school now. A minimum is 100 by, I believe it's 60 wide in high school. And I know when we go down to Brattleboro, if it's I would venture a guess it's probably just slightly less than 100 because it's actually played on a field hockey field, and I know it's extremely narrow.
Of course, here, all the activity now at Spartan Stadium, football, soccer, field hockey, lacrosse. This is Will Berry, number 1. Scoreless with 38-25 to go in the first half. This is men's college soccer from Spartan Stadium. The Castleton State College Spartans, Colby Sawyer Chargers, both teams at 0-1. Trevor Catrati, let's see if he can run it down. Number 4 on the right wing.
Nicely saved right there on the end line.
Josh Costa is number 5. Will be the throw-in for the Spartans. The Spartans control number 15 at Jacob Berry. Out is Berry. The wind's swirling, and at times a strong wind, and it's at the back of the Spartans, and it would behoove them to score a couple of times here in the first half if the wind keeps up the way it is, even though certainly it's not a unmanageable wind. Catrati, headed by Billy Lund. Looking to control Zach Sharon, number 2, but well defended by the Spartans. Sharon, number 2 for Colby Sawyer. John Kendall. Costa. Barrett comes out and booms it out of there. You might have gotten that's against the wind.
You can see it hang up there, though, when it goes up, and it's very hard to judge.
Trevor Catrati.
Little bump from the back there. Should be a free kick.
That's Kevin Flaherty who bumped him. Mike Coppinger with us, the assistant girls varsity soccer coach at Rutland High, all the way in on Berry. And
good chance right there to just pop it in the box, Jack. That's actually pretty far for a goalkeeper to come out. As you can see, it's just beyond the PK mark, definitely outside of the 6-yard box that's in there. So that's that's a big play for a keeper to come out and make that catch right there with players running onto them. So it's impressive the range that Barry can show.
Anthony Bueller is sending it back to Roswell. Center circle up to Jacob Ferry. Knocked back into Castleton territory as the Chargers look to control. A little bit of a collision. Number 11 is Derek Avelu for Colby Sawyer. And Colby Sawyer will control, coming back the other way on the throw-in.
Well, Jack, in the opening minutes here, I really like to see Castleton really working the flanks, working the sidelines, trying to get those balls down the line. Great way to beat a defense around the corner there, rather than trying to jam it up and through. Where in the middle part of the field, it can get kind of chaotic and get jumbled. I see Castleton right now working it down the flanks, trying to get those balls down the line. I really like that.
Scoreless with 35-35 left here in the first half. Spartan Stadium, first of 2. Men's soccer here. Castleton and Colby Sawyer. Castleton and Johnson and Wales getting it away at 3:30 this afternoon in women's soccer. As Castleton operating with the wind at its back. Castleton in white, Colby Sawyer in blue. Trying to get to it, number 2, Zach Sharon for Colby Sawyer. Back up to the center circle. Headed away by Ian Hunter, number 13. Hunter again, number 13. Back to the center circle, and now Colby Sawyer. Number 15 is Flaherty. Flaherty to Sharon. Back out. Bueller now for Castleton. Billy Lund. Had to dribble through everybody down the middle.
Yeah, trying to do too many things at once there, and probably should have played it off to the flanks, off to the side. But Castleton gathers it back up, though.
Petrotti tried to go on the right wing to John Kendall toward the corner, kept alive by the Spartans. Back out to Bueller. Bueller shovels it right in front, top of the 6-yard box, and they score. And Castleton takes a 1-0 lead as it came right, actually went by one guy, but right to Josh Costa, who scored, number 5.
Well, again, Jackie, a poor decision right there, and not a great job of Colby Sawyer clearing the ball out. You could see the Castleton really taking their time. That ball originated from the far side, crossed in nicely, and then it came off a Colby Sawyer defender. It came off of his chest, was unable to clear it, and then put into the back of the net on the near side post.
And it misconnected, and you feel it went off a Colby Sawyer player. It certainly hit somebody on the way through, not a Castleton player in particular, but Josh Costa made no mistake.
If we have a chance for a replay, Jack, I think you'll see that it came off of a Colby Sawyer defender right on the top of the 6-yard box and was unable to clear. As I said, it originated on the far side right there. Here comes the cross over. And had a hard time right there. See, it comes off the chest. I can't see the number. But couldn't quite handle it and pounded in the back. Nice job to finish it off right there. And again, Colby Sawyer having a hard time in the defensive zone. And it results in a goal this time. That was about the 4th opportunity, and we're back live.
Yeah, and you're a good call there, Mike. It did hit the Colby Sawyer player. It looked like somebody for Castleton before Costa was trying to get a header in there, but went by him as well.
Best opportunity when you have a ball coming in like that, and certainly since it hit off the chest of the Colby Sawyer player. I think it was number 25, Jack. I'm not exactly sure. But the best thing to do right there is to head it out rather than try to trap it to your feet and then dribble it out. When you're that deep in the box, best thing to do is clear it out.
Costa got the goal. It's 1-0, and here's a shot from near the PK line. Goes out of play. And it's going to be a stoppage of play with 32:56 to go in the half as the player is down, as you can see on your screen.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate, Jack, but he was grabbing his knee as he went down, and he's doing that again right there. Kind of got tangled up very awkwardly as he went down. Did get the shot off, sailed just over, but he is down. Looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Josh Costa, the goal for Castleton, a 5'8", 150-pound senior from Sutton, Mass. 1-0 Castleton in the stoppage here for an injury with 32:56 to go in the half. Of course, we say Jack Healey on board with Mike Coppinger, assistant girls varsity soccer coach at Rutland High here in the Castleton area. And you talked about the different sizes of the fields around the state, and some of the games played on, let's say, football fields and so forth, and that's the case here at Rutland High. What do we want to do here?
Well, if you want to take a look at that goal one more time.
We'll take a look at the goal again. Okay, I beg your pardon. We're getting signals from our producer. We'll take another look at the goal. I think we caught the end of it, right? We'll take another look at it. Here we go.
Yeah, so Castleton really taking their time right there. That was a play back as they start to penetrate. Nice, hard-driven ball along the side and pounded in right there. Keeper honestly didn't have much of a chance right there. That was a half volley that was put in the back of the net. And it looks like our player is back up.
Yeah, that's Ryan Drown, number 20, and he'll be coming off the field, and he'll be replaced by number 27, Cooper McNeilis for Colby Sawyer. I was about ready to say, and at least he's coming. He is limping, but under his own power here. Also in, he's already was in number 30, Garrett March for Colby Sawyer. I was going to say, Mike, this is artificial turf here. Your club plays on artificial turf fields, but not all the fields are artificial turf. Is it make much of a difference nowadays, or does a team really get an advantage being an artificial turf team, or let's say, is it a great disadvantage playing on a regular field?
Well, really, Jack, where the advantage comes in is when weather comes into play. In Vermont, of course, we have very unpredictable weather, and the fall can be pretty brutal on us. And when it starts to rain, these synthetic turf fields really take well to the rain. With a regular natural grass field, you get a lot of pooling of rain. This drains it so well; it keeps the playing surface dry without any pools of water, so you can play on the surface even if it's raining somewhere. And we have a couple of fields in the state that are like this, and it's very fortunate for the players to be able to have that advantage to play on it even in bad weather.
Castleton controlling, leading at 1-0. As out is Berry. Does the ball have a tendency to hydroplane, though, on an artificial, kind of like a rock skipping on a lake or something?
Not as much as you would on a grass field. I tell you, it does come into play a little bit. That first bounce off of these fields seemed to have a little bit more juice, but then after that, after the second or third bounce, it's pretty natural. That first bounce is a little more juiced for some reason I've seen. The other fields in the state of Vermont, I know South Burlington and Burlington both have synthetic turf fields, and I'm not sure if, and in Rutland, of course, I'm not sure if any others. It's a major investment, but I tell you, in the long run, it is definitely the way to go in Vermont and the northeast climate that we live in.
And we know Brattleboro, Mount Anthony have grass fields where you play. And, of course, this is familiar to people that live in the immediate Castle and Rutland area as far as talking about the high school soccer is concerned on the high school fields. Number 15 is Flaherty for Colby Sawyer, but he lost it. And along the far side, controlling on the right wing, Catrotti. He got bumped, and it will be Castleton with the throw in here. It's going to be Costa. Costa gets it into Billy Lund. Because we realize, of course, the players on both teams come from all over the country, especially all over New England. From way out, number 22, Nick Jonas.
Clipped his own player there. That ball was ticketed, though, from about 30 yards out. I'm quite certain that probably would have been on net if it hadn't hit a Castleton player there in right about the 18 or so.
Josh Costa scoring the only goal of the game to this point. Castleton leading at 1-0. And 30-30 to go here in the first half.
I mean, it's kind of cliche to say, Jack, but it is so crucial to be able to score early on in the game. You feel so much more settled when you're able to get up early and really try to get the rest of your gameplay. So we're going to have a free kick right here, a quick restart.
Yep. And it was a quick restart. Made no doubt about that. Jacob Berry. Castle to go in with a wind here in the first half. Trotty dribbling. Trotty on Sharon. Bang down toward the center circle. McNeilis, who came in for that injured player. McNeilis, number 27, the injured player, Ryan Drown. Jacob Roswell all over the place. Zach Sharon, number 2 for Colby Sawyer. This is Ian Hunter. Number 13 for Castleton, as Castleton looks to control out toward the center line. Trying to knock it out of trouble was Flaherty. Center circle. Ferry.
Nice ball to the flank right there.
Catrotti now. Catrotti. Tough angle. Shoots it in front and they score. Catrotti just dumped it out in front, and right there, that again, I believe, was Costa. And it's 2-0. What a play by Catrotti. Castleton has the 2-0 lead.
Well, Jack, as I had said before, the real key component right there is playing the ball wide, playing it to the flanks. That's how Castleton was going to build their attack. They certainly did right there. Taking it all the way down to the goal line, Jack. I didn't think he was going to be able to keep that ball in, but did cut it back real hard. And, of course, the goalie is following the ball all the way to that far post. When it came back in the middle, It's just too much ground to be able to cover, and Castleton was there to put it in the back of the net, going up 2-0 and just over 10 minutes into this first half, Jack.
Catrati to Costa. Costa with a pair of goals here as Castleton has a 2-0 lead. And, we talked about tough angle, but as you mentioned, Barry had to come over.
Jack, the other thing I think you'll see is whomever was the Colby Sawyer defender right there did not mark up goal side of their man, which basically means keeping yourself between the ball and the man that you're supposed to be marking. I think you're going to see that when we have a chance to see a replay, is that he left his man wide open right in front of him and wasn't able to block that. And it looks like we're going to look at that right now, Jack. So you can see the ball's played down the flank very nicely. It's almost going to go out. And it's cut back right here. Yeah, stepped right to the ball right there and put it in the back of the net. No chance for the goalkeeper right there as it was a point-blank shot.
And the defender went away from Costa.
Exactly. Costa actually checked to the ball, which is exactly what you need to do. The defender kind of was letting his momentum carry him into the net and was ball watching rather than watching the man.
Josh Costa with a pair of goals as Castleton has a 2-0 lead. Back to knock it back into the Colby Sawyer side of the field. Roswell back to the Castleton side, but again, Castleton looks to control. Deflected nicely, Kevin Flaherty, number 15 for Colby Sawyer in blue. Castleton with a 2-0 lead, going with the wind here in the first half. Zach Sharon, number 2 for Colby Sawyer. Hunter's been all over the place defensively, number 13 for Castleton. Here's Costa.
So, Jack, we've certainly seen Colby Sawyer's defensive crew tested today. We really haven't seen Castleton's defense tested a whole lot. I think we've had probably about one scoring opportunity right now for Colby Sawyer. So, the best defense right now for Castleton is a good offense.
I love that. Did you come up with that?
I think I heard it somewhere before. I can't take credit for that. Boy, way to call me out.
No, hey, listen, it might be a cliche, but I'm telling you, it's about as accurate as can be. Best offense is a great defense. A great defense is a good offense, or however it goes.
So I think that was a offsides call right there on Castleton. Yep. So that'll come out with a free kick right now.
Kirk Abrahamson, George Cook, and also John Whitlack, the referees in this game.
So I do have to make an editorial comment. Our referee in the center part of the field in college soccer, very fortunate to have 2 referees assistants who run the sideline with the flag, calling the offsides. They do call some fouls. We'll get to that in a second.
Like Costa again. Top of the 6-yard box, he tried to feed it out and knocked out.
So you have 2 referees assistant and a referee in the middle, and the referee in the middle follows the play back and forth, up and down the field, making the majority of the calls, fouls, and so on and so forth. And you would mention it's Kirk Abrahamson that's out there. His daughter actually plays for us at Rutland High School, and he worked the horn for us at yesterday's game. We opened up against Colchester, Jeff Paul and the Colchester Lakers.
Right. Jeff
and
Paul, whose dad, Butch, works with us on basketball and is friends of Castleton football and the host of Rich Alercio's show on the local public access Channel 20, where we are this afternoon as well.
So Kirk was running the horn at midfield, so whenever a substitution need to come in. So it was kind of nice to have a second coach down there and referee on the sidelines. And I won't lie, I asked him a couple of coaching points there as we were playing just the other day.
Kirk Abrahamson, the boys varsity soccer coach at Rutland High, as the opportunity came in there from McNeilis.
So we're going to have a foul on the very top of the box, Jack. So this will be a free kick. I believe it was a trip, so that means that it should be a direct kick. You're going to see Castleton set up a wall. This is difficult as it's right in front of the net.
Derek
right
Baylor,
straight on.
He'll take the free kick about 20 yards out and scores and ties it. Or I beg your pardon, it's 2-1. It cuts the lead to 2-1.
Wow, Jack, it was. I believe it was a trip because it was a direct kick as opposed to an indirect kick. An indirect kick, you need to have 2 touches on the ball. And that was a direct kick and taken right away. Jack, I have to confess, I did not see the foul on the top of the box right there, but nevertheless results in a goal for Colby Sawyer, cutting Castleton's lead to 1.
On the free kick, Derek Velu, and it cuts the lead in half. Certainly you don't get 2 for that.
Yeah, excuse me.
So, I beg your pardon. Colby Sawyer cutting the lead in half, though, and Castleton has a 2-1 lead. Now 24:48 to go in the first half.
But a beautifully executed play right there. Apparently there was a nice opening. Apparently there was a nice opening in that wall on the near side and just bent right around. If we have a chance to look at that replay, Jack, first of all, I'd like to see the foul that might have taken place because I didn't see it on the top of the box.
It seemed like, well, it had
and
to
here's
be
the shot.
on McNeilis. Go
here's
ahead.
the shot right here, Jack, and you can see bent right around as the wall kind of caved in a little bit and hit the side netting of the post right there, or of the goal right there. A beautiful shot. I'm wondering if we can have a chance to see the foul that might have been committed on the top of the box. We'll have to wait a moment for that.
In a couple of minutes. Our producer doing a nice job, Weston Wheeler, and he will be showing us. It undoubtedly was when Cooper McNeilis had possession of the ball. So 2-1 Spartans. A couple of goals by Josh Costa, and that goal just a moment ago by Velu for Colby Sawyer. Derek Velu, who is a junior from Winslow, Maine.
Another nice ball into the box.
And they score.
Wow.
And Castleton gets its 2-goal lead back again, and that's 3 goals for Costa.
And Jack, moreover, that's 4 goals here in the opening 20 minutes. This is end-to-end action right here. A great ball up and over that was headed on in the back of the net. And I tell you, Jack, one of the hardest shots to be able to defend, and I know as from being a goalie, is a header that comes in because you just never know where it's going to come off. Unlike a shot off the foot, you can kind of predict where it's going to go. But a beautiful ball that came off the near side that was propped into the middle of the box, right about in the center of the box where the 12-yard PK stripe is, and head into the back of the net. Castleton takes a 3-1 lead. Again, we're in the opening 20 minutes here, Jack.
Yeah, 23-22 left here. We'll have a look at the goal again, and also back where we're trying to find that foul right before the goal for Colby Sawyer. But Costa has
and we have that foul right here, Jack. This is the foul that happened at the top of the box. A little clutching and grabbing.
Yeah, he's kind of knocked down from behind,
Boy,
right?
I tell you, that's a good shoulder-to-shoulder play right there. And you know, it's we're not down close to the action right there, but that's what resulted in that shot on the top of the box, that free kick that resulted in the 1 goal that Colby Sawyer has. In just a moment, Jack, I'm sure we'll see that goal for Castleton, their 3rd goal of the day.
Kendall, as Berry comes out and smothers the ball. Kendall getting the assist on that. We'll run by all the statistics officially here at halftime. Costa with 3 goals. Castleton has a 3-1 lead. Went up 2-0. Of course, Velu on the free kick, cutting it to 2-1. And then Costa coming right back on the header, and we'll have that replay here in just a moment at Spartan Stadium.
Side, a nice lofted ball right into the middle of the box. Just out of the reach of a Colby Sawyer defender right there and headed in. And that was the only Castleton player in the box right there. It seemed like everybody else had kind of given up on it.
You know, how about that pass from Kendall, number 17?
And, Jack, it's so interesting that in Castleton's first game, they had very much a scoring drought, not scoring any goals, and now out to a very early lead with 3 goals.
Berry didn't quite come up with it on the first try. He's got it now. Kendall, that perfect pass over the defenders, and of course right to Costa, made no mistake, getting his 3rd goal, the hat trick here in the first half at Spartan Stadium. Kendall's a freshman from Springfield, Vermont. Josh Costa, number 5, 5'8" senior from Sutton, Mass, as we mentioned. So Castleton with a 3-1 lead. Derek Velu, number 11, along the near sideline. Castleton now on the throw-in. Talked a little bit about Chris Mulholland in our pregame show. Certainly a big part of that team for Spartans last year. And Mulholland, number 18. So you think there was no foul there then? Right before
Well,
the
you know, it was good shoulder-to-shoulder play, and if certainly when you're in the center of the field, approaching the box as you're funneling in towards the goal, you know, I see a lot of times referees kind of let the shoulder-to-shoulder play go. Again, Jack, we're several yards away from that, and the referee is right there on top of it. It's possibly that there was a little more clutching and grabbing, or maybe from behind a little bit more than it presented from our camera angle, But again, referee doesn't make a call thinking that there's going to be a resulting goal in it. And I guess that's what kind of trumped it and made it seem so much more than it was, is that there was a goal that was the end result.
Castleton on the throw-in. Castleton with a 3-1 lead, just under 20 minutes to go here. Men's soccer on NSN and also Channel 20 PEGTV in the Rutland area. A couple of substitutions. Number 6 coming in, Justin Rose for Castleton. Number 18, Mark Zinkowitz, and number 14, Joe Sujian entering the game for Colby Sawyer.
So, Jack, if I'm not mistaken, these are defensive changes that Colby Sawyer is making right now. I think, again, that speaks to what I was saying before, that Colby Sawyer is having a hard time putting their defensive game together, getting things to click in the backfield for him. So I think we're seeing some adjustments here.
Catrati is the player getting a breather for Castleton. The Spartans center circle as Velu scored the goal off the free kick, the Colby Sawyer goal. Kind of feed it ahead to Kenny. Peter Kenny is in also for Colby Sawyer. He's not an original starter, number 7. Colby Sawyer, the Chargers out of New London, New Hampshire. Used to be way back, Colby Junior College.
Beautiful campus over there. It's a very nice setting over there.
And as was the case with Green Mountain College, next door here in Poultney, and one or two other colleges I can think of. Endicott College in Massachusetts. Colby Junior College was all female. Now it's co-ed.
Any stories you'd like to share there, Jack?
No. Well,
okay, just checking.
I remember trying to go to Colby Junior College one night, though. And
what was the college in?
it had some car trouble and never made it.
What was the female college in Animal House there that they all went to?
Oh yeah.
they went to Faber.
They
I
went
can't
to
remember.
Faber. Yeah, I can't remember.
Where the girls Von Leibowitz.
I know. Von Leibowitz, though, was the one that passed away.
That's right. Yeah, they were going to see her.
Yeah. It's Fawn's friend that everybody wants to talk about, but nobody can remember her name.
Another substitution for Colby Sawyer.
Back in, this is Ryan Drown, who was the player that was
injured
earlier, but he's back in. Good news there. Number 27, Cooper McNeilis. Ryan Sorensen is number 13 for Colby Sawyer. Checks it into Peter Kenny. Jonas, number 22 for Castleton, and Anthony Bueller's number 11. Castleton with a 3-1 lead, 17:20 to go first half. Nice move, Justin Rose. Back to the far sideline, and then Roswell knocked it away as Tyler Stotts. Is that Tyler Stotts, or also in there Mark Zimkowitz is number 18. He's actually in there. Also 19, Kurt Carvalho for Colby Sawyer. And some more substitutions. Number 28, Brandon Gilbert coming in for Colby Sawyer.
Now this seems like a lot of substitutions in the first half, Jack, and we're still in the first half. We're approaching the second half of the first half right now. But early on in the season, I know from the high school perspective, you're still working on fitness with a lot of your players, and that can always play a factor early on in the season if your players aren't 100% in shape, like you would be mid-season and certainly towards the end of the season. So getting those substitutions in, getting those fresh legs in are so important.
Ian Hunter, number 13 for Castleton. We talked about not a lot of pressure on the defense for Castleton, but still, Hunter's been pretty impressive. Certainly not a lot of pressure put on them. Up ahead, John Kendall, who had the assist on that third goal from Costa, the goal that put Castleton up 3-1.
believe that was Kendall drawing the foul right there, which results in a restart right at half field. Good job of pressuring right there.
Castleton outside the 18. Would have gone wide. Berry comes over to stuff it. Will Berry. Haven't heard the name Andy LaCroix very often in this game. The goalkeeper for Castleton.
Which is difficult. And again, Jack, I had mentioned I was a goalie, as you know, Jack, in hockey, but as well as in soccer. And, not having the ball come to you and kind of staying loose and getting those touches on the ball can be difficult for a goalie who's just standing in the backfield there. As, again, Castleton is attacking on the flanks.
Rose along the far sideline, getting that pass from Costa. What a move by Rose, and he tried to shovel it in front and knocked out by Velu. Velu came back and he got that goal earlier, the Colby Sawyer goal, and a good defensive play there.
Well, Jack, you had mentioned Ian Hunter is just all over the field right now in the defensive end. He is stepping up and actually helping a little bit with the offense, putting the ball back in, but got clipped underneath right there by a Colby Sawyer player. And, when you go to the air, so many bad things can happen, and it gets so scary. But as I said, that results in a free kick, which was put right back down into the box.
Actually, just barely misconnected inside the box. Throw in for Colby Sawyer. Peter Kenny is number 7. The Spartans control. Floating it toward the middle of the field and back to grab it, Gilbert. Up to the center circle, Velu with it. Velu lost it. Jacob Ferry. Ferry to Rose, wanted to go back. It'll be the throw in for Colby Sawyer. Zach Sharon, far sideline. Chips it to Kenny. All the way across, Sujian. Colby Sawyer looking for some space. Back to Berry, and there was Costa, almost got to it, huh? Brandon Gilbert spins around.
Yeah, nice composure right there. He's got fantastic foot skills. I was noticing that early on in the game. He is very composed with the ball at his foot. Unfortunately, it hasn't been at his foot very often because it's been in the defensive zone mostly.
Again, Gilbert, we just talked about him. Number 6 is Rose for the Spartans. Kendall, number 17, a freshman. Center circle. Drown, number 20, he was shaken up earlier back on the field. That was Hunter again that headed it out of there. 25 yards out for the Spartans. And the Spartans on a restart. Costa's got the 3 goals. Castleton with a 3-1 lead with 12:20 to go here in the half. First of 2, we got later on. We have Castleton and Johnson and Wales on the women's side. A throw in for Colby Sawyer.
That's gonna be our first corner kick of the game. I was thinking, Jack, we hadn't seen a corner kick.
Here it is, corner
at
first
all.
One of the game. And I was just thinking again by Costa is when you get the hot hand,
keep dealing it.
Keep feeding him, and that just misconnected as Costa is going to take the corner kick.
Now, Jack, this gets back to our swirling wind that we were talking about. I'm going to predict that this is probably going to be a low-driven ball, keeping it out high in the air, not trying to do that, keeping it low and driven, so the wind doesn't play a factor here. But we'll see what happens. And there's a low-driven ball.
Yeah, see it drifted back out. Even though the wind's going the other way, it kind of curved back against the wind and back out toward the center circle. It's Hunter again. Drown. Hunter moves it back to, I'm going to mention his name now, LaCroix.
Great play by Hunter right there. Now, in the game of soccer, the rules have changed over the years, Jack, and goalies are not allowed to pick up a ball that is played back to them by their own player with their feet. But Hunter elected to head it back, which, according to the rules, you're allowed to pick up as a goalie. So that was a smart play by Hunter right there to do that, giving Castleton possession, and then LaCroix was able to play it out with a punt. So nice decision there.
Throw in for the Spartans, we've got a substitution coming up here. Number 23, Brendan Hoffman will be checking in. 10:26 to go here, first half. 3-1 Castleton, 3 goals for Costa. So Hoffman checking in for Kendall, who had the assist on that third goal by Costa after Colby Sawyer cut the lead at 2-1. Back toward the half field, and Billy Lund out there, number 18. Jacob Ferry.
Oh, good pressure by Castleton right there, trying to cause those turnovers in the offensive end.
Nice move there. That's Bueller on the dribble. That's Hoffman who just checked in.
Fresh legs right up there.
I was just going to say,
pestering.
a lot of energy. Velu. Left wing taps it to Gilbert. Gilbert taps it to Sharon. Left wing is Colby Sawyer controlling. Just outside the 18. 23 yards out. Controlling is Sujian. Colby Sawyer in blue and Castleton in white. 3-1 Castleton. 9:05 to go first half. Inside the 18, LaCroix comes out. Hoffman, 1-on-2, back out toward the half field.
Oh, that's a nice ball to the wing. I think a little bit too far.
Checking in now is number 16, Tim Sherman for the Spartans. Tim Sherman is a senior from Bellport, New York. Checks in for Mulholland. I think the last time we saw Mulholland last year was, I remember, I don't know when you picked up with us, it was right around Halloween. He had a nice haircut for Halloween, I remember that.
I missed that one.
I don't know what to call it because I don't want to be politically incorrect. I'm just going to say a nice haircut. And it was done for, it was orange or something, right? I can't remember now.
We'll have to go to the archives and pull that one out.
Goes to Rose, number 6 to Costa. Costa throws it back to number 15, Jacob Ferry. Middle of the field, bangs it into the Colby Sawyer side of the field. Castleton with a 3-1 lead, 7:38 left here in the first half. Up to Zach Sharon. Colby Sawyer. The Spartans, Roswell, send it near your side, far side as you're looking, Justin Rose. Zach Sharon getting it back from Velu. Velu again. Back on the left wing to Sharon. Zach Sharon for Colby Sawyer. Leads it out to the center circle as Colby Sawyer looks to control. Trying to float it down the middle there was Gilbert, but it never got to him.
Yeah, Colby Sawyer keeps trying to penetrate with those through balls that are played, and Castleton just choking off any point that might be able to leak through.
After the throw in, Zinkowitz getting it right back. And knocked away from the 18. That was Ian Hunter. Back into the Colby Sawyer side of the field as Colby Sawyer looks to start it up again. On the left wing, Mark Zinkowitz. Knocked back the other way by number 6, Justin Rose. Hoffman on a chase, but out is Berry. Berry will boot it out there against that wind, but it's tough to control, I guess. Actually, the wind knocked it down a little bit, but you got it out there a lot farther than I thought, and the wind is probably as strong now as it's been all day.
Yeah, as you can see those flags, or we can see those flags that are just beyond the Colby Sawyer net right there. It's really, really kicking those up.
Spin move, Sharon. Knocked away by Hunter. Roswell knocked it out. Now it'll be Zach Sharon with a throw in quickly. Want to go back to Sharon, but again, Roswell knocking it away. Roswell again. And it will be the throw in by Gilbert. Gilbert to Kenny. Kenny along the far sideline. Bends it to Velu. Velu, the long shot goes in wide.
Yeah, very low percentage shot right there. I think, Colby Sawyer's plan of attack right there is just to get it on net, see what happens, maybe kick up a rebound right there. But that was, boy, Jack, that was at least 35-plus out. Very low percentage shot to go in the back of the net.
The only thing that you might get out of the long shot like that, unless you really boom one in, is with the wind. Even though that was against the wind, maybe it would have a tendency to knuckleball in there a little bit, or
yep, that's exactly it.
Get the wind shear or whatever you would want to call it, so it might come in kind of
awkwardly,
move it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's Josh Costa, who's put 3 on the board. His Castleton leads at 3-1, 4:40 to go first half here at Spartan Stadium. And all the way through to Barry.
Now see, on that one, you actually want to let it hang up there because you want to give your players enough time to get underneath it. And if you put it in such a spot that it's a little bit too far for the goalie to come out, you could get some good things to result in it. But that was actually put in a little too deep and right inside the goal box right there, which was a pretty easy grab for the goalie.
Number 7 is Kenny. The back is Hunter. See, that time you're talking about, he kicked it back to his own goalkeeper, so he had to use his feet.
Exactly.
Whereas before you talked about heading it back.
Yep.
Would have had trouble doing that unless he went right to the ground.
When I first started playing soccer, in high school soccer rather, 1992, you were still able to play it back, kick it back to your goalie, and he was able to pick it up. Yeah.
When did that change?
And that changed the next year, about
Okay.
1993, and it changed internationally, I believe, then. But it was great. On a goal kick, you actually play it outside of the goal box, and then you could play it back into your goalie and have a punt back the other way. But it was slowing down the game too much, and it keeps the flow of the game going, has more offensive opportunities. You could certainly see an offensive opportunity right there if you can't play it back to your goalie for him to use his hands.
Down the middle, Costa, and it's blocked. Costa from about 7 yards out.
Well, Costa is about as hot as you can get right now, Jack. That ball was absolutely lasered on net right there, and it was just a foot of a Colby Sawyer defender that kept it from going in back. I'm not sure exactly. I think it was 18 that kept that ball from going in.
Yeah, it might have been Zimkowitz.
Zimkowitz, I believe.
Here's Costa shoveling it in front, but out is Barry.
Yeah, Zimkowitz got a boot on it right there and knocked it wide, resulting in the corner we just saw, which wasn't much resulting in it. But if he didn't get his foot right there, Jack, I think Castleton would have been up 4-1.
And Castleton does have a 3-1 lead with 2:25 to go in the first half here at Spartan Stadium. First of a doubleheader coming up later today will be women's soccer. Castleton will be hosting Johnson and Wales. Here are the Spartans against the Colby Sawyer Chargers. Both teams coming in at 0-1 on the year. Castleton does have the wind at its back. Castleton getting 3 goals from Costa. Derek Velu scoring on a free kick for the Colby Sawyer goal. At the time, it cut the Castleton lead to 2-1. Since that time, Costa has scored a goal, his third of the game, to give the Spartans that 3-1 lead. All the way up toward the half field, and Castleton again controlling. Down the middle, Costa trying to get to it, but Barry, as you mentioned earlier, got good size. He beat him to the ball.
And with his size, he's got great range, Jack. That punch that he just made, Barry made, was practically on the top of the box. He was playing very, very far out of his net, had enough speed to get out there and punch it away and prevent an offensive chance for Castleton.
On the right wing, it's Roswell. Back out toward Ferry. And it will be Colby Sawyer with a throw-in. Or the restart. Colby Sawyer with the restart with under a minute to go in the half. We're in the final 50 seconds of the first half at Castleton with a 3-1 lead. Trying to move it on through toward Gilbert. Gilbert will pick it up, far sideline for the throw-in. Roswell. That's number 18. We mentioned him just a moment ago, Zimkowitz, who we believe had that nice play before.
I think he saved a goal right there, Jack, to be honest with you.
On the right wing, Justin Rose. Backing up Costa. Costa again with 20 seconds to go in the half. Costa, career game today for sure. Ferry, number 15. Ferry looking to get to it. Knocked along the far sideline as Roswell. They won't have a chance to do it. Roswell right at the horn. And we played a half here in men's college soccer at Spartan Stadium. And at halftime, our score, Castleton 3 and Colby Sawyer 1. The 3 goals for Castleton, Josh Costa scoring all 3. And we know Trevor Catrati is going to assist, and also Kendall with an assist. We'll get the official stats coming up in just a couple of minutes. Jack Healey with Mike Coppinger on the Northeast Sports Network and Channel 20 PEGTV. 2 games live today on the public access channel in Rutland. And Mike Valentine and company, and our producer is Weston Wheeler. Camera people Tom McGee and Brian Fasikas. And we'll look for the statistics and take a little break at halftime with the score Castleton 3 and Colby Sawyer 1. We'll be back after this on NSN.
Why did I choose Castleton?
Castleton is big enough so there's a lot to do. It's small enough so I can really get involved.
Sports.
Theater and music.
Radio and TV.
Internships and community service. There's a real sense of community.
And lots of opportunity.
And Castleton is in Vermont.
That means hiking, biking, skiing, and riding.
Visit castleton.edu to learn more about Castleton.
It's 3-1 Castleton here on NSN and Channel 20 PEGTV in the Rutland area as we get set for second half action. Jack Healey, Mike Coppinger, and on board with us Weston Wheeler, who is our producer. And the goals all scored by Josh Costa as far as Castleton concerned. His first 3 goals of the year. He scored at the 10:45 mark to put Castleton up 1-0. Anthony Bueller picking up an assist on that. At the 15:44 mark, Costa again is second of the year, second of the game from Trevor Catrati. And that made it 2-0 Castleton. At the 19:54 mark, Derek Velu on a free kick, scoring, of course, unassisted his first of the year for Colby Sawyer. Then we cut the lead to 2-1. And then at the 21:27 mark, Josh Costa, his 3rd goal of the year, 3rd of the game to put Castleton up 3-1. And John Kendall picking up the assist on that. Will Berry has 1 save for Colby Sawyer. Andy LaCroix, no saves with 1 goal against for Castleton. And, of course, you know, when we talk about it, I guess saves are the same way you look at it in ice hockey, right? If the goalie isn't there, that's the way I look at it. If the goalie wasn't there, would it be a goal?
Exactly. Even if it's a ball crossed in from the side, if it's not going to go into the goal, and the goalie prevented that from going in the goal, that's how it's measured, whether it's a save or not. So a ball crossed in, a ball that's grabbed at the top of the box does not count as a save.
Now, Colby Sawyer had 4 shots on goal. Now, shots on goal don't necessarily mean shots on goal because that doesn't add up. Colby Sawyer, 4 shots on goal, but LaCroix with no saves.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's not shots on goal in ice hockey, for example, would be on goal, whereas shots, it's shots, but not necessarily on goal. Yeah, that's
exactly
the difference there to clear that up. But both teams at 0-1 of the year. So Josh Costa with 3 goals, and Castleton has the 3-1 lead. Derek Velu scoring the goal for Colby Sawyer. And Colby Sawyer in the second half will have the wind at its back. And dressed in blue, Castleton going against the wind, but having the 3-1 lead here And also corner kicks, not many. There were 2, both from Castleton in that first half. Fouls, Colby Sawyer had 7, Castleton with 5.
So really the key, Jack, right now for Colby Sawyer is not to look at the scoreboard and think about all the goals you have to make up. Just concentrating on getting that first or that next goal into the back of the net right now. You had mentioned that they have the wind to contend with. But, of course, Jack, as you always say, in a 3-1 game, the next goal is the most important. Either way.
Gosh, that's good stuff. Did I make that up? Or
Well,
I think I said that last night in field hockey, too.
But, yeah, no, the next goal is most important because either way.
You're either up by 3 and in pretty good shape or you're just up by 1. So it does make sense, yeah. I didn't make it up myself, but it does make sense.
I didn't say you made it up. I said you always say.
Yeah, no, okay. I know. See, I gave you credit for whatever it was, even though I've heard it before. I figured you said it for the first time. What the best offense is a good defense, or vice versa.
So I had an opportunity to go out and walk around a little bit, see some of the folks that are here. I saw E.J. Bishop, who coached me back in college. He was here with his son watching the game. So it's great. I mean, this is great soccer, great quality soccer, and it's wonderful that students young students in high school and in grade school can come and watch.
And our camera angles, as people that were with us yesterday, our first fall video casts and telecasts, our camera angle is across from the press box, so you get the experience of the stands of the crowd here, and it's a pretty good crowd. You can see it right there on your screen under where it says Castleton 3, Colby Sawyer 1, as we get set for the second half. And it does add a lot to it. Last year, our camera angle was the opposite way, and this year it's toward the stands, so we have more of a feel to what's going on here.
And how beautiful the stadium truly is. And President Walk was in earlier.
Yes, he was.
Giving his regards, and I taught him a little something there as he
know
was
you did.
listening to our commentary about the game of soccer. Of course, him being a big basketball and baseball player back in high school. I don't know whether they had soccer back then. I don't think they did.
Well, soccer is relatively young, right? In high school in the state of Vermont, just like ice hockey is really.
Well, certainly at Rutland High School, it's relatively
young.
new.
When I say relatively young, because at Proctor High School, which people in the Rutland area know, Proctor High, and of course throughout the Marble Valley League, of course Arlington, John Werner was just a legendary coach at Arlington High School. John Werner, the Castleton men's coach here, but legendary coach, and I don't know how many state championships he had at Arlington. So the smaller schools certainly had the soccer programs, that's for sure. Proctor, Arlington, Black River. So Castleton against the wind, but they have the 3-1 lead. And no guarantees that with the wind you're going to score the way Castleton did in the first half, but Colby Sawyer has to feel good about that. And as we mentioned, the next goal is so big. It always is in a 2-goal game. Number 17, John Kendall on the left wing. Kendall on a little bit of a collision with Hoviak, but the quick restart. Mulholland, number 18, dribbling.
Ooh, that's a rough foul right there. He's going to get a little talking to. That was clearly from behind there, and or at least from the side, I guess. And referee Abrahamson had a little talk.
Number 5 is Costa's got the hat trick. First 3 goals of the year. Of course, it's just the second game of the year, and Castle was shut out in that first game here. So actually the 3 goals on the year for Castle, and all from the same player. Berry getting up to grab that. 43 minutes to go in regulation. Castleton with a 3-1 lead here in men's soccer at Spartan Stadium. The year anniversary of the dedication of the stadium. It came on September 5th, 2009. It's now September 5th, 2010. It was a year ago today. Speaking of President Walk, I can picture him out there talking about the shrubbery across the way, which is opposite from us, about what kind of a shrubbery it had to be, because it's Castleton spelled right under the scoreboard here, and it had to be a special kind of shrubbery, because if it were not, all the deer would think like they were eating at a
was a
local
buffet.
restaurant. So
Yeah.
they'd be eating away at that. So
I think Skip Pratico
Yeah,
really
exactly.
had to search all
Skip
over for
Pratico
it.
from a local landscaping business, and he, as a matter of fact, was here as well. I can just think back. It's hard for me to believe it was a year ago where Dave says, President Walk said, "Where's Skip Pratico?" And he was waving up here in front of us, trying to get his attention on that first day. But yeah, a little bit of a trick there with the shrubbery and making sure the deer don't come out and go to work on it. A buffet. It's Castleton, and of course it's opposite from where we are. And if our cameras were like they were last year, we'd
you'd
show
see
it to
it,
you.
yeah.
But it's right in front of where the camera is. Castleton and Shrubbery, right under the scoreboard here at beautiful Spartan Stadium. Mulholland awaiting on the left wing here. Jonas gets it to Mulholland, trying to run it down at the corner and at the goal line. Mulholland dribbling nicely up along the sideline. Moves it in front and just misfiring in front there was Catrati.
Yeah, Catrati just a little bit away from that one. A beautiful ball crossed in, and right on the corner of the box right there, just missed it.
Berry booms it out of there to the half field. 3-1 Castleton. Got your score and the clock right on your screen as you can look with us. Castleton with that 3-1 lead. 40-48 to go here in regulation. And Spartan Stadium, lots of sunshine, windy day, and just inside the 18, headed out of there. And Spartans get it up toward the center part of the field. Kendall again out of Springfield High School in Vermont. Springfield, Vermont High School. Costa and Kendall. Kendall assisted on one of the Costa goals. Jonas along the far sideline on the left wing at the center line. Chips it ahead to Costa. Trying to throw it on the right side to Catrati. He'll have the throw in off Colby Sawyer.
Yeah, you got to wonder, Jack, at what point does Colby Sawyer start to take some chances here to, it looked like a bicycle attempt right there. But you gotta wonder at what point does Colby Sawyer decide to start taking some chances and maybe really push some people up from the defensive end to try to get some scoring opportunities right here, because as that clock starts to tick away, it becomes more difficult for Colby Sawyer to put some points on the board.
Sharon into Drown, back to Sharon. Number 2 in blue for Colby Sawyer. Number 2 to 22 Molinaro. They call that offside.
Well, it's a delayed offside because if Castleton had gone on to that ball, it would have been blown offside. So it was actually a delay.
Throw in Zach Sharon, number 2 for Colby Sawyer. Colby Sawyer with the win in the second half, and Bohoviak is number 25 inside the box and knocked away from the goalkeeper on the one hand, knocking it away. Goalkeeper LaCroix for Castleton.
Yeah, Andy LaCroix doing a nice job. All you needed to do is just give it a little bit of a tip just to knock it beyond where the Colby Sawyer offenders were trying to put a header in, and just that little bit of a tip was enough to throw them off.
By the way, we're going to try to feature, as we've done in football and field hockey so far, Zach Sharon with it toward the middle. Sharon wanted to get a return pass, but a nice play there for the Spartans, and that was a great play by Billy Lund. We're going to say on the post-game show after wins, of course, if Castleton can hang on, Mike Coppinger down below to talk to John Warner. Still a ways to go in this one with 37:50 to go in regulation, but 3-1 Castleton. Zach Sharon. Sharon on Mulholland. And it will be the throw-in for Castleton, number 22, Nick Jonas. Jacob Berry got bumped and It'll be a restart for Castleton. The foul. Ian Hunter. You know, Trevor Catrati was out on the field here, Mike, for Mill River. He played his high school soccer at Mill River Union High School. He's from North Clarendon, Vermont, which is near Castleton. Always have to remember that not everybody listening and watching is from the immediate area. Of course, people watching from all parts of the country here. But I saw from afar. I didn't have a chance to talk to him, but his maternal grandfather, who is a big fan. His paternal grandfather and grandmother watch all his games. That's like 1 year of being our color commentator in soccer, and he has the deliveries, hand-delivered hot dogs to the press box.
Well, I didn't have any lunch, Jack, and I don't want to fade on you here going into our second game. I see they have cupcakes next door here.
Yeah, they do. I'm not sure if they've been there all night.
I wonder if that instead of a birthday cake, whether they did that.
They try to feed it down the middle to Costa, looking for his fourth goal. Castleton Spartans have a 3-1 lead. 35-56 to go here in regulation. Kendall.
Boy, Kendall does a nice job of giving that high pressure in there, trying to cause those turnovers. Does a nice job of annoying that defense. And, oh, boy, a rough call right there, a rough play right there is
shaking up.
Players are shaking up. It looks like somebody's going to get put into the books right here.
Yeah, Kevin Flaherty. Got a yellow card. Yep.
That's number 15.
Kevin Flaherty is the injured player, but a yellow card on a Castleton player. And I'm not sure.
Jacob Ferry, I believe.
And was it Jacob Ferry?
Yeah. And he knew it. He knew it. Actually, you could see his, you could see his nonverbals right there. He realized that he made kind of a tough foul right there, and was probably going to get put into the books. So a yellow card warning, Jack. Again, just a yellow card just is a cautionary thing, saying, okay, that foul was a little too rough. We're going to give you a warning. If that player receives another yellow card later in the game, he will be ejected, which would result in a red card. You can get a red card right off for a very egregious
So two yellows
offense.
equal a red, but a red can be by itself, and you are ejected for a red or two yellows.
Correct.
Here's the Spartans, and we were talking about Kendall, and Kendall took it in deep to right outside the 6-yard box. And a corner, I believe this is the third of the game.
This is only the third of the
Castleton.
game, only 2 in the first half. And again, we'll see what the wind does with this one.
And a nice feed near side. The header up over the crossbar and out of play. It was Anthony Bueller who has an assist in this game.
Bueller really skied to get that one. That ball was a lofted ball towards the backside of the net, and he really skied to get up for that one. At 5'10", he did a great job of getting up there.
Tyler Stotts, number 10, checking in for Colby Sawyer, the Chargers out of New London, New Hampshire. Years ago called Colby Junior College. Like the tenacity from number 2, Sharon. Here's Mulholland along the left wing for the Spartans far side. Look at him go. Back to the center line. And he lost it at the center line as Zach Sharon controls into the Castleton side of the field. Feeds it all the way down the middle and out is LaCroix.
Early on here, LaCroix's actually had a little more action than he did in the first half.
Yeah, he did.
He's touched the ball a heck of a lot more. Oh, nice
the
nice
tap
lead
back
right
to
there.
Mulholland. That came from Kendall. Mulholland on the dribble. The Kendall on the right wing. The shot and the score. Oh, what a play. Catrati on the goal.
Jack,
Kendall to Catrati, and it's 4-1 Castleton.
Jack, absolutely textbook right there by Castleton. Some nice small passes right there, some triangle passes. Castleton was very composed as they were working their way up the field. I think I counted at least 4 passes right there back and forth to one another. And it ends up with a ball in the back of the net, 4-1 Castleton. And, Jack, we had said it at the very beginning, the next goal is going to be the most important right there. And even though there is 33-15 left on the clock, that's a huge deficit for Colby Sawyer to come down from.
It sure is. It's 4-1. Castleton. Catrati on the goal, his first of the year. Kendall getting his second assist of the game.
And we're going to check out that replay right now, Jack.
And don't forget Mulholland, too, part of that play.
And some great passes going here. There's one. There's 2 across. 3. I mean, just and there were some more passes that were earlier on than that. But Colby Sawyer just getting caught right there, having some men slip in behind the defensive zone, and the passing right there was just spectacular. I can't say enough about it.
Oh yeah, that was that's how you draw it up, right, Coach?
That's as textbook as you get.
Here's Kendall again, freshman out of Springfield, Vermont High School. Couple of assists, so 3 goals for Costa and a goal for Trevor Catrati. We were just talking about Trevor a few moments ago. I was talking about how big fans his maternal grandparents are. And I saw his granddad from far away when I was out on the balcony talking to President Walk. Here's the updated score. 4-1 Castleton coming down on 32 minutes to go in regulation. Bohoviak with a restart, number 25 for Colby Sawyer. Colby Sawyer with the win. Clouding up a little bit here. We had a lot of bright sunshine throughout most of the day. Yesterday we had the strangest day. It was sun, rain,
and then that
sun.
rain came, yeah. That was probably right in the middle of that football game, was it not?
Yeah, it did pour for a while as it's booted out of there by Berry.
And then to think about the weather we had Friday, which was so hot, and then Saturday.
Yeah, it just
very odd.
cooled off. There's the header back. That's what you talked about before. Hunter, the header back to LaCroix, and that means LaCroix could play it with his hands.
Exactly.
Yeah, unbelievable weather, unbelievable heat, and then it just cooled off for these weekend games. As I mentioned earlier, I was at the game the other night, the other afternoon, when Oneonta State opened up with the 3-0 win over Castleton in men's soccer, and it was unbelievably hot that day. Here's Mulholland, and knocked out along the near side by Bohoviak. Did he get to it? No. And I say near side as we're looking. I got to remember that. It's far side as you're looking at it off the screen at home.
Oh,
Costa, far post from about 30 yards out.
And I don't know what Costa had for breakfast, but he is absolutely on fire. It seems like he can do no wrong there. That ball was ticketed for that near side and just barely missed bending in. He is just having a career. Now he's going to take the corner kick right here. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts it in off the corner, Jack.
Another corner for Castleton is in McNeilis and Zinkowitz for Colby Sawyer. Number 6 is out there. Svensson. He was an original starter. There's Costa with a corner kick from the near side. Top of the 6-yard box, knocked away. But again, it's Costa. Right in front, Kendall, and he bangs it out of play. They had the right idea, did everything but connect on that. And here's now Zinkowitz and also McNeilis. Now they're checking it officially for Colby Sawyer.
Costa from to Kendall right there came off the side of his foot, just sails over. I tell you, those guys have been hooking up. I think we're going to see them hooking up all season long, Jack, the way this is going.
Well, I got to tell you, you got to. Okay, we have a new goalkeeper for Castleton, right? Here's Mulholland on the left wing. Shot, score. Mulholland scoring. And there, you gotta look at that. You gotta love it. 5-1, Castleton.
Well, when you're up by 5 goals, I guess you can get get some theater in you right there. And, just a great job, Castleton, again, controlling it in the zone right there and putting it in the back of the net. 5 goals, Jack. And it's hard to, and I wasn't at the game, their first game against Oneonta, but putting up 5 goals after putting up a goose egg in your last game is pretty impressive.
Kahneman is the new goaltender, freshman out of Montpelier. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Kahneman, I think that's what Jeff Weld said on the public address system here. So he's in for LaCroix.
A freshman out of Montpelier, Vermont.
0. Mulholland. Now, how do you like? We're going to show it again here when we have an opportunity. Here it comes. Kahneman has to make a play here in the meantime, but here's the goal by Mulholland.
Yeah, nice ball off to the side right there, and then a good bender right in. Hit side netting right there. Keeper, the only thing a keeper can do right there is try to get a good flight in the air and try to tip it around, but
and
we didn't see the theater afterward, the little
what do you call that now? Brandy
it's a goal. It's you're doing a little celebration dance, is what it is.
A little different from in the World Cup. He put a shirt up over his head.
Yeah, there's a lot of them there, and if they get a little too outlandish, a lot of times they'll get carded for it.
In other sports, they call it excessive celebration.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of it, though. Mulholland on the goal. It was such a pretty goal from the left wing.
I think we have a little frustration here, Jack. I think we're going to see another player go in the books. This one for Colby Sawyer. Can't catch his number.
5-1 Castleton with 28 minutes left here in regulation. The yellow card. He's pleading his case. I'm trying to see who that is right in front of
I've never seen anyone win one with a referee, but it's that number 8 possibly, Jack?
Yes, it is number 8 for Colby Sawyer, and that's Leskowski. Another opportunity for the Spartans inside the 18. It was Jonas taking the header, but it'll be Berry kicking it out of there now for Colby Sawyer. Of course, Colby Sawyer losing the game in the opener 7-1. So Colby Sawyer in the early going has given up 12 goals and scored 2. John Winter is going to be happy with the way his club is playing here. Here's Catrati and a save by Berry. Catrati again heads it inside the goal box and headed in by Costa. Josh Costa, his 4th goal of the game. The Spartans lead it 6-1.
Jack, we had said before that Costa is just absolutely the man to be right now. He has put in 4 goals. Got to be a career game for him, and I'm not just talking about college. I'm talking about high school career. I mean, that is just fantastic. And it was a header. It was a diving header as it was bouncing inside the box right there and put it away for his 4th goal. And it looks like he's coming out of the game right now, Jack. Yeah, he's coming out of the game right now. Retiring in this game with 4 big goals, giving his team a 6-1 lead. And Jack, we're only less than 10 minutes, into this second half.
And Catrati getting the assist there. I've been saying Catrati, and Catrati, and I should remember that from high school. And I know there is one correct way, and I want to make sure I do it correctly. But Jeff Weld is saying Catrati, so.
Jack, we're going to take a look at that goal again. That final goal for him on the night. So you can see it. It's going to pop right up off the goalie. Going to get played back in, and you can see the diving header right here off the bounce. Oh, that's a pretty goal right there. That's a pretty goal. And again, slipping in behind the defense. There was no one marking him in the back right now, and it's just, we had seen it early on, Jack, that Colby Sawyer was having some problems defensively, and it's proved to be volatile for them. So it looks like we have an injured player for Castleton down, Jack, in the box.
I know I will make sure I get it straight by our next game. Our next men's soccer game is September the 26th. The noontime game as Castleton goes up against Maine Maritime. That is a Sunday. Today's the 5th, so that's 12th. That's 3 weeks from today. I've been saying Trevor Catrati, but it might be Catrati. I know it's the family likes it one way, and I'm just trying to remember which way is, but Trevor Catrati is the way that Jeff Weld is pronouncing it. So I'll go back to Catrati here, but I'll certainly make sure I know by the next time. As he had an assist right there on the 4th goal by Costa. His first 4 goals of the year. That is an injured Castleton player, and I can't tell who that is.
Yeah, and he's still down, Jack, and not quite sure what the ailment might be. I didn't see the foul go down. I was looking down at my list when the foul happened, so I'm not exactly sure what happened. I know no one's got put in the books for the foul. There hasn't been a yellow card or red card dished out, so it could have been just something behind the play, 2 players getting tied up, or maybe even involved in the play. I didn't happen to see it.
Trying to get the that's our great camera work, I might add, on the goals here in the replay. As our camera people today are Tom McGee and Brian Fasikas and Weston Wheeler, who is from Lake Placid, New York, home of the Miracle on Ice. That's number 22, as you can see on your screen. It is Nick Jonas. Castleton. 26-23 left in this one. It's 6-1. Castleton with the lead.
Yeah, he looks like he's pretty sore. It looks like it could be a shoulder of some sort, Jack. The right shoulder. It seems like he's holding that very awkwardly.
Dylan Zangle, number 10, is in for Castleton, and Colin Foley, number 4, is in for Colby Sawyer. 4 goals for Josh Costa, a goal for Catrati, and a goal for Mulholland. The 6 goals in the game for Castleton. And off a free kick, Derek Velu scoring for Colby Sawyer. Castleton 6-1 lead here at Spartan Stadium. We have the women's game to follow. As we mentioned, our next men's game will be against Maine Maritime, a noontime start on Sunday, September 26th. Far side, it is number 10, Zangle. Mulholland. Mulholland on a battle with Sharon, back to Zangle.
Oh, nice through ball right there for Colby Sawyer.
Keeneman thought might get tested there.
Apparently there's a foul, Jack, just prior to that ball going through that the referee's calling right on the top of the box. Of course, Jack, as we remember in the first half, similar type play call made towards the top of the box resulted in a goal for Colby Sawyer. We'll see if they can do it.
It's going to be Velu.
And they've put more people in the wall. Last time it was only a 4-man wall, Jack. This time we have more in the wall.
And the southpaw hit the crossbar.
Wow, Jack. He's got, he bends it like Beckham right there. A great lefty, Jack. You had called it. Bent it right around, and I'm not sure whether the Castleton goalie got a tip on it or not, but I know it did come off the crossbar right there. It must have come off the goalie because we have a corner kick.
Yeah, corner kick, Colby Sawyer. Now the throw in as it was knocked away again by Castleton, but Colby Sawyer looking to control. 6-1 Castleton. 24-40 goes left in the regulation. Yeah, that's the goalie there, yeah. And I'm thinking it's Kahneman.
That was my question. I didn't want to attempt the name.
Well, I
but Kahneman,
heard it once, but I
was watching him warm up, and he has a lot of agility, flies through the air very well, and boy, a freshman goalie.
Well, Holland tried to bend it like Beckham in there that time too, and it bent right into the arms of Berry.
But a freshman goalie stepping in right there and staring down, on a player that's already put one in the back of the net, did a great job of making that save, which came off of the tipped off the crossbar and over. But, came in basically cold right there.
And I'm thinking that's the pronunciation. I want to make sure we certainly want to get all the pronunciations correctly. And, of course, I've broadcast many of Trevor Catrati, I'm just trying to remember which way it goes. He had a brother that played hockey as well, and he's got a goal and an assist in this game. But Kahneman, I'm just judging by what the public address announcer said here. On the right wing, Tyler Stotts. Tough angle. Kahneman on the short side. Gets it in the bread basket. Coming down on the 23-minute mark left in regulation, 6-1. And you say, if it is not, if we can say coming down at 23 minutes left in regulation, or you can say left in the game. If it's not left in the game, it'll be a monumental comeback.
I was just my words exactly.
For Colby Sawyer.
A storybook one. I mean,
Yeah.
one for the ages.
We're talking about Weston being from Lake Placid. The miracle on ice would be nothing compared to a miracle coming back from 6-1 down. And again, I don't mean to be facetious, but that's a long way back for Colby Sawyer.
And that will be one of the questions, Jack, if I have an opportunity to go down and talk with Coach Warner, whether he had foreseen them putting so many points up on the board, certainly this game, but this year, if scoring was going to be, a great talent of theirs this year. We have a lot of players going in for Castleton and one going in for Colby Sawyer.
Tim Sherman's number 16. Zach Conlog, number 2 in for Castleton. And number 6, Justin Rose for Castleton. John Winter with a lot of substitutions. And again, Mike Coppinger will have an opportunity to talk to Coach John Winter after the game, of course, before we get ready for the women's game coming up. And games on NSN, and the Northeast Sports Network, and also Channel 20 PEGTV in Rutland. Ian Hunter, number 13, has been busy for Castleton.
Yeah, he's done a nice job of commanding that backfield, Jack. Just as a sophomore coming in, and I am really impressed with his play back there, playing like a seasoned veteran back there. He's also been helping on the offense. The first half there wasn't much defense to be had by Castleton, but he still found a way to contribute and help his offensive cause, stepping up to the midfield. He's had a little bit more play defensively right here as Colby Sawyer has stepped it up a little bit. I think that's from Colby Sawyer taking some chances with really nothing to lose right here, throwing everything they have but the kitchen sink at the offense.
Sogia, number 14, is in for Colby Sawyer, and also in is Liquier for Castleton. Tanner Liquier, number 21. Number 10 is Angle for Castleton on the left wing. Liquier out near the center line. Throws it on the right wing. Sean Leggett is number 24. He's in there. A whole lot of substitutions for John Warner.
Yeah, it looks like he's opening up the bench, and with a 6-1 lead, you can certainly do that. Great opportunity early in the season to get some of those players some touches on the ball, some game time, because you never know what's going to happen throughout the season with unfortunate injuries that may happen, but also giving players an opportunity to step up because you really might need them later on.
Down on the 20-minute mark left of the game, Castleton has a 6-1 lead. Costa with 4 goals. Josh Costa, 4 goals, his first 4 of the year. Trevor Catrati with a goal, and also Chris Mulholland with a goal. I'm going to say just about all the goals, and I guess you could say that anyway. You're a coach. All goals are pretty goals. Conlog is number 2. But
well, there's some garbage goals I've seen in my day.
Mulholland liked his goal.
But in the record books, they all look the same.
Like in baseball, a bloop single looks the same as a line drive. Huh?
That's right. But you were right, Jack. The goals for Castleton have been wonderfully orchestrated. They were built over time, whether they were played to the flanks or some nice touches like we saw in the last one, some nice touches inside the box.
That was a nice play there by Zangle, number 10. Tim Sherman, number 16. Zangle. Number 10 for Colby Sawyer is Stotts. And it will be a throw-in for Castleton.
Ooh, bad turnover there.
Stotts. Stotts moving on Roswell. Thought they were going to call something on Roswell there. They did.
Yeah, they did. It's going to be another free kick on the top of the box. And Jack, I know I said it before, but this seems to be the best scoring opportunities that Colby Sawyer has is these set plays. You see so many goals come off of set plays or restarts, as we're going to see right here. And this one is from about 20, 25 out, I'd say.
Free kick. And way out of play. Let's see who it was that took that kick. No, that was Velo again. Yeah, he's the guy. He scored the goal early. You know, I said southpaw earlier, but he used the right foot that time, so he's amphibian.
Well, ambidextrous, I think you wanted to use.
No, he could swim too.
Oh, I think it was because the ball was on that side of the goal that he was had a better attempt of bending it around with his right, whereas before, as you remember, Jack, the ball was to the farther side.
But just I guess going using both hands to dribble in basketball, you have to use both feet in soccer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, just kidding about the amphibian part. I know the difference. Away at the corner. 17:09 to go in the game. Castleton has a 6-1 lead. This is Barry number 1. Will Barry has been busy.
He has, and I'm actually I'm kind of surprised that they've left him in there. Not to say that any of the goals were his fault per se, but sometimes for a goalie's psyche, which can be fragile, Jack, as you may know, sometimes you want to pull a goalie out to just give him a rest and give somebody else a look. Sometimes you're in the zone and sometimes you're not. Sometimes you need a little break, you know. Oh, nice move right there.
20 years. Bueller on the left wing. Lund right in on the goalkeeper. And see if they have enough room there to float it across. Conlog couldn't do it. It was a tough angle.
But, Jack, you can see on these scoring opportunities right here how well thought out, I had said it before, how well thought out they are. And Castleton really builds it with some great passing, some one touches, some two touches as they build it up the field. It's not their scoring chances haven't come off of broken plays or a fluke ball over the top. They're just well machined and well drawn up as they work their way up the field.
Colby Sawyer with a restart. Up to Velu, and he bangs it into the Castleton side of the field and get it back out near the center line. Gateman.
Wow, that's an interesting call, and you could see Ian Hunter say that foul was on me. I guess he's going to getting called for coming underneath a little bit. And again, another free kick restart for Colby Sawyer, and your guy's back at it, Jack.
Yeah, that's Velo. We'll see if he uses the left foot this time. No, you're right, because the way the angle is.
Right, and he's going to.
Yeah,
he played it off.
Yeah, he played it off this time. He played it off to Kevin Flaherty, and back to Velo, who's got the only goal of the game for Colby Sawyer.
Because he started that on his right side. He was going to kick it with his right foot, and I was saying to myself, he's not going to put that on goal. I thought he was actually going to loft it up for a header for one of his teammates, but he ended up
Why wouldn't you try to kick it all the way through? And we have
it's certainly had a great opportunity to if you wanted to bend it around, but I guess he was looking to switch it up, and we're going to have another yellow card right now, Jack, to number 9.
Yeah, that's Peterson. Guerrero,
and he just came in recently, and that was a hard tackle from behind right there, and that's one thing that certainly referees do not take kindly to is a takedown from behind. A side or in the front, if you're going for the ball, that's one thing, but from behind, it's a last desperation chance to try to win the ball, and referees normally take a hard line on that, and you could see that right there with referee Abrahamson putting another player in the books.
My other question I was about ready to say on that free kick, why would you not, and I know sometimes you lay it off like that, but the percentages are more to kick it all the way through, would it not be? Or
well, my coaching would tell me to put that on net, try to either bend it in and get a rebound off of the goalie, number 1, or number 2 at the very least, loft it up, get a nice high lofted ball so that one of your teammates can come on and head it on. I'd much rather see the shot go on net. Again, you have a freshman goalie in there who's come off cold off the bench. put one in his hands and see what happens, or put one off his hands and see what happens.
So what is the and that's your philosophy. So what is the
the
advantage to laying it off like that?
The advantage to laying it off is the team has set up a wall in front of you where the ball is stationary, okay? If you lay it off to the left side or the right side, in this case it was laid off to the left side, you have an opportunity to get a shot on the goal without the wall in front of you. You've moved the ball beyond the wall. I think there was a little bit of a communication error right there that that the player that he let it off to didn't realize it was necessarily coming to him because he didn't take the shot right off.
You got to take the shot right.
You got to take the shot. You got it. You're that close to the box.
If you don't, there's no surprise element in it.
And you have defenders all around you. You got to be quick on the shot.
Roswell back in number 3 for Castleton. Sharon, number 2, is back in for Colby Sawyer. Is out to stuff it as Berry.
Berry showing that range again to come out and smother that ball.
Got it away from Leggett, who
he had a head of steam as he was coming in.
That's Leggett, number 24. Number 2 is Conlog. Out to number 10 is Stotts now for Colby Sawyer.
Nice grab.
Chargers of Colby Sawyer, trailing Castleton 6-1.
And you can see, Jack, right there that was a play from behind, and referee Abrahamson is taking a hard line on that one. That was a tackle from behind.
Yellow card.
So we're going to get another yellow card warning. And in a 6-1 game, I really do have to applaud the referee to try to manage things, because in a 6-1 game there can be frustrations that run kind of high, and the game could get out of control. And I think he's doing a nice job of keeping the reins on things.
Kirk Abrahamson, a veteran official, as his dad is as well, Bob Abrahamson. And
you've never played a soccer game till you've had Bob Abrahamson referee it.
I get
he is just such a character.
I know.
He's more of a show than the game is half the time, but he a great wealth of knowledge and has been in the soccer community for forever. A legend, really,
and
truly.
He very well could be here in attendance today. I'm not sure, but Roswell going to Sherman. Want to go back to Roswell. Roswell can't handle it far side. A throw in for Colby Sawyer. 6-1 Castleton with 12:35 left here in this one, and we'll have a little bit of time between the men's game and the women's game, which is slated to get underway at 3:30. Last I looked, it was right around 2:45, so it's not a lot of time, but Mike will be going down below to talk to John Winter. It's 2:50 now, so of course, depending on how long this game takes, it's not that they're not going to cut down the warm-up time. So 6-1 Castleton coming down at 12 minutes to go in the game. Berry out to play it in the goalkeeper's box. He'll punt it out of there. Whoa.
Took that right off the face right there.
You might hear the crowd oohing and on, too. Leggett, center circle, lost it to Bohoviak. It'll be a Castleton restart.
That was number 9, Dominic Heller, that took that one off the face right there, I believe. Yeah, and he's a freshman.
Dominic Keller,
he's a freshman, and it looked like his teammate just said, it's part of the baptism of playing soccer. Is kind of pat him on the head afterward. Another slew of subs coming in for Castleton.
Was that number 9 or was it number 8?
I believe it was number 9.
Is he out there? Billy Lund is out there.
Number 8's in the middle. Number 9 is in the backfield. You can see him grabbing his face right now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, whole bunch of substitutions. There's a new goalkeeper now as well, Max Williams for Colby Sawyer. Yeah, you're right. 8 and 9 are out there. Billy Lund's been out there for a while. Dominic Keller, unless Lund just came out now because a whole bunch of substitutions for the Spartans. That's Heller there, right?
Seems to be hanging in there.
Yeah. He was checking for blood earlier. 10-10 to go in the game. Castleton out in front, 6-1. David DeVost is also in for Castleton. Also, Brendan Hoffman is in. Zach Conlog in. Number 3, Jacob Roswell is in. Williams is the new goalkeeper. Toward half field, dribbling is Stotts, number 10. Back toward the center circle. Castleton bringing it back the other way. Looking to chase it down. Nick Hallett is number 12. Number 21 will be checking in. Tanner Liquier. He was in earlier. Liquier coming in for Castleton, number 21. And coming in for Colby Sawyer, Pat Martin. Out of the game is Anthony Bueller for Castleton. He's done a pretty good job out there. 4 goals for Costa, Catrati with a goal, and Mulholland with a goal for the Spartans. And Derek Velu off a free kick scoring for Colby Sawyer. At the time, it had made the score 2-1. Restart. Castleton.
Yeah, Hoffman right there brought his cleats up as he was falling. I'm hoping it was certainly by accident, but brought his feet up a little bit, and whoever that is for Colby Sawyer caught it right in the throat, it looked like, or in the chest. And you can see him as he's grabbing his chest right there. He's covering up his number as well, number 19.
Carvalho.
Yeah, he looked like he got that right in the midsection as Hoffman went down.
Camera work by Tom McGee and Brian Fasikas, and they'll be with us during our second game, too. Our second game is the women's game. Castleton, the Spartans, will be hosting Johnson and Wales. I was looking for what the nickname was for Johnson and Wales. It's the Wildcats.
It could be the Whalers.
Aaron March, number 30, checking in for Colby Sawyer. The host is number 14 for Castleton. Gilbert, number 28 for Colby Sawyer. That's March that checked in. Slides it down the middle. Gaineman. Funny, we're talking about the wind and everything, Mike, and well, actually Castleton had four of the goals coming with the wind, 2 against the wind, but really hasn't. The wind might not be good. Well,
it's a hard play right there, Jack, right at the center part of the field, and I think referee Avery Hampson's going to award another yellow card right now to number 10. Yeah, we're starting to see some frustrations come through right now, Jack, and again, I don't know what the equivalent would be, in a 6-1 soccer game, what that would equate to baseball, basketball, football-wise. But a 6-1 lead in soccer is a pretty big lead. That's a lot of goals to put up on a board.
Yeah, it's pretty much an insurmountable lead. We were talking about it earlier, even with a lot of time left. Was still at 6-1. We're talking about a monumental comeback. If indeed, when I was saying how much time was left in regulation, if it was regulation and not in the game, it would take a historic comeback. And it certainly would still, with 7:24, corner kick Castleton left in the game, 6-1 Castleton. Here's the corner. Conlog plays it ahead. DeVost.
That's an offside. Yep, that was offside.
Yep.
You can see on the near side, well, we can see on the near side right there, the referee's assistant having his flag up as that ball was being played in the box. And it just takes a moment for the center referee to see that flag, acknowledge it, and make the call. That's why there was a little bit of a delay on that whistle right there.
Six to 1 Castleton with 6:30 to go in the game. See who else can get on the board here. As far as either team are concerned, Costa, of course, has 4 goals out of the game now for the Spartans. First 4 goals of the year. Of course, just the second game of the year for both teams. Both teams coming in at 0-1 on the year. Coming to Keller, number 9, number 8, Billy Lund. Number 3 is Roswell. Keller to the center circle. Conlog to Lund back. Lund had originally sent it to Conlog. DeVos to Roswell. Along the far side, back to DeVos on the left wing. Slides it toward the middle. Tapped out. Long shot from about 30 yards out for Ferrotto. Was by everybody, and Colby Sawyer will bring it back the other way.
Jack, you can really see Castleton dominating on those one-touch, two-touch balls in there, maintaining possession, playing a possession-style soccer game, not just kicking it for the sake of trying to gain ground and get it up the field, but this nice 7-yard to 10-yard passes to keep the play right up inside there has really been working well for them, and I really attribute that as one of the key factors in today's game for them eventually, I believe, getting this win.
Chargers making some substitutions. Straight on, the shot Hoffman. The top of the 18. 4:30 to go in the game. Castleton out in front 6-1.
Little clip from behind right there. Again, going to result in a free kick. Coming down to the final moments of this game right now, Jack.
Free kick, Castleton. Down the middle. DeVos had it, was looking at it on the left wing side. Also Hoffman there. Throw in Castleton. Out Billy Lund, number 8. Backboard Svensson. Svensson puts on a nice move. Down the middle, headed back the other way by Zangel. Out to the top of the 18. Kahneman. Kahneman out to Ferrotto. Throw it on the right wing side. Heller, let's see. Hoffman can't get to it. Out to the top of the 18. It's Max Williams. He booms it out of there. And down with about 2 minutes to go, Mike. Make sure you know how to operate that mic, too, before you go. You'll have time. We'll tell you on the run here. You look like Coppinger, his first post-game interview. Interviewed many times as a player.
Well, this should be easier with a 6-1 win. It should be pretty easy to do an
I don't
interview with a coach rather than a loss.
Yeah, and I think the coach might be in a pretty good mood.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah.
Roswell, number 3, getting a return pass along the far sideline. DeVos trying to run it down. It does, number 14, along the far side. DeVos still outside the 18. Hoffman was waiting, 23. I'm not sure if that was where the intended receiver was. Under 2 minutes to go in the game. Castleton has a 6-1 lead. The Conlog number 2 might have been the intended receiver from DeVos there, his pass. And this is Conlog out at half field. Center circle. Gets it on the right. One fed it to the near sideline. Ferrullo, number 7, with 1:30 to go. We'll have the women's game to follow. We'll have a little bit of a break between the two games. Johnson of Wales, the opponent for the Spartans. Johnson of Wales, the Wildcats. We're already 0-2 on the year. Spartans 0-1. Along the far side, Roswell with it. Feeds it down the middle, and out is Williams. Slides out about 8 yards out. .44 seconds to go in the game. Castleton just a few seconds away from evening up its record on the year at 1-1. Our next men's game will be on September 26th. It'll be 3 weeks from today. I believe we have 5 on the schedule, and of course home playoff games as well. Nice move by Zangle. Williams comes out. 15 seconds to go. Punts it out of there, under 10 seconds to go. Just a solid win for the Spartans here. 4 seconds to go. DeVos getting the pass from Conlog as time expires, and Castleton has won it by a score of 6-1. Castleton 6 and Colby Sawyer 1. Castleton getting 4 goals from Josh Costa and a goal from Trevor Catrati, and also getting a goal from Chris Mulholland, and the goal on a free kick. The goal for Colby Sawyer coming from Derek Velu. So 6-1, a victory here for Castleton. And we'll have Mike Coppinger down below with John Warner, Castleton men's coach, and take a little break between the two games. We have the women's game coming up, Castleton and Johnson of Wales. We'll be back after this timeout from Castleton State College.
Why did I choose Castleton?
Castleton is big enough, so there's a lot to do. It's small enough so I can really get involved.
Sports.
Theater and music.
Radio and TV.
Internships and community service. There's a real sense of community.
And lots of opportunity.
And Castleton is in Vermont.
That means hiking, biking, skiing, and riding.
Visit castleton.edu to learn more about Castleton.
Castleton winning it by a score of 6-1 over Colby Sawyer. Colby Sawyer now at 0-2 on the year, and Castleton at 1-1. Again, our next video telecast will be on September 26th, 12 noon. Castleton will be hosting Maine Maritime. In a couple of minutes, we'll have the Castleton Johnson and Wales game in women's soccer. As down below, we'll be looking for Mike Coppinger, talking to John Warner. And we'll see if we can give him a signal here in just a moment as John Warner taking care of things.
Look over this
All right,
way.
let's go to Mike Coppinger down below with Castleton men's coach John Warner.
We'll let you guys walk through.
I think they're trying to still find where Mike is on camera here. There we go. Let's go to Mike Coppinger, John Warner.
Yeah. All right, Jack, we're here with Coach Warner. Coach, congratulations, first of all. You just opened up a little while ago, and you were held scoreless, and then today you put 6 goals up on the board. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, for sure, and one was prettier than the next. They were beauties. We did make a positional change, move Costa up front, and he responds with 4 goals, and we're we're able to do that because the freshman Johnny Kendall's come on and could play the spot Costa had been playing to allow us to move him up. So that was big. And then Kendall gets 2 assists in his first, big minutes in college. So it was a good, solid win.
Yeah, you had mentioned Costa. I mean, had a career day today. I mean, he did a fantastic job. Is this something that you're hoping to see a lot? I mean, 6 goals. Are you looking to put a lot of points on the board this year? Was that something you were concerned about?
Coaches always want to put points on the board. We were a little worried about scoring. It was one of the reasons we made the change after the Oneonta game. And of course, we had Catrati back today too. He only got 8 minutes in that heat the other day, and he makes things happen on that right flank, and so that was another factor, getting him back. But the backs were so solid that allows us to stay on attack.
Yeah, one thing that I had noticed, Coach, was the defense was tested a little more in the second half, but even in the first half, the defense was helping aid the offense, and Ian Hunter certainly was a big factor to that. Anything to say there?
Yeah, Ian and Anthony Bueller in the center are just they're just rocks, and then Jonathan Roswell wide. It's a great back four, and keepers did well. They're both rookie players, if you will. One's a senior, but of course he played behind Mike Anthony for 3 years. So game experience is good for both the keepers. But yeah, Hunter's been, Ian doesn't try to do anything fancy. He just does his job. It's just what you want in a center back. And Bueller's fantastic. So, we're really pleased with that.
And so just finishing up, you're going to head on the road. You're going to head up to Maine in a couple of days for some games up there. What should we look for up there, Coach?
Well, actually, we go to Southern Vermont first on Wednesday, and then Cobleskill. So we go the other direction. Then we
Beg my pardon, correct.
That's okay. It's not like I know what I'm doing for the next 6 weeks. But, with Southern Vermont, Timmy's done a good job down there, Tim Penrod, and they're tough, and they'll be especially tough at home. So Wednesday will be a big match for us, but this is certainly something we can build on, and I'm sure the guys are feeling good.
Coach, I know you'll savor this victory. It was a big one for you today. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, and thank you guys for covering it. We appreciate that.
Not a problem.
We got alums all over.
You got it. Jack, we're going to send it up to you. Big win today for the coach and for Castleton, 6-1.